the field rush. Made a list.
The
Joe Paterno.
the first thing that was hilarious was they had Bobby Bowden in front of Joe Paterno. Which how is that even possible? For one, he's
Brett
got
said
less
Joe
wins than
Paterno
him.
top 4. Eat a eggplant if you think otherwise. So all right. First and foremost, I want to pull up. This is the list. All right. So this is the all-time winningest coaches according to ESPN. All right. So Joe Paterno, 409 wins, 2 national titles. Bobby Bowden, second, 2 national titles. 12 ACC titles, 37 bowl appearances, 24 wins. I think he still has the greatest bowl record of all time. Well, let me see here. 37 and 24. No, I guess Bobby Bowden would have him beat on that. Oh, wait. I don't think they have his bowl wins. Bear Bryant, 323 wins.
Now Bear Bryant makes sense. He's got a crazy resume. Yeah.
6 national titles. Pop Warner, legendary name. 4 national titles. Amos Alonzo Stagg. He had, but Nick Saban, obviously, he had 7 national titles. I think that's the most. Mac Brown, Lavelle Edwards, Tom Osborne, the great Nebraska coach Lou Holtz, Frank Beamer, Bo Schembechler, which I believe was the Michigan coach. Yep. Now, Joe Paterno is not going to have as many conference titles because they weren't in the conference until 92.
Yeah.
Steve Spurrier, Woody Hayes. All right. So that's the list there of all-time wins. So for me, like, what are you basing it on?
Joe's top 4. Like, let's be honest.
Newt Rockne is in there too. Jimmy Johnson, I wouldn't put him in there. Pete Carroll, no. You guys are recency bias.
Somebody commented and said Brian Kelly, and people were laughing at him. They're like, what are you talking about, dude?
So for me, there's an argument for Joe to be number 1 because he's the all-time wins leader. That he coached for as long as he coached, he averaged like 10 wins a season. That is mind-boggling that you can win that many games over that span of time.
Yeah,
I think he had like 3 losing seasons, maybe 2, maybe. I don't think he had more than that. They were the Alabama football of the 90s. They didn't win as many national titles. They didn't win any in the 90s, but they were always number 1 going into the season. Year in, year out, draft picks, high-ranked teams. But when you have a bad lifting program and you have Mike McQuarrie as your quarterback, that doesn't help things for sure. But so John McKay, someone said. So I would have Nick Saban number 1 because of what he did. 7 national titles. He had, let's see, all-time wins. He is 6th. But what he did is he totally dominated college football. Now, while Joe didn't win as many national titles, he did that and more overall for a long time. Saban coached 28 seasons, won 7 national titles. All right, so that's a lot. He won, I think, 1 with LSU, 6 with Bama. All right, so you got Nick Saban, I'd say number 1. I'd have to go with Joe Paterno number 2 because of the all-time wins, what he did, over all that time, and he won 2 national titles. He could have had one in 94, one in 99, one in 05, and one in 08. So he could have had 6 national titles amongst those years. Even 2011, his last year, they had a really good team. They lost. Their only loss going in before the scandal was to Alabama, who won the national title. Joe had an undefeated season in 5 different decades, and they would have won 5 or 08. It would be 60. Yeah, stupid stuff. You're right. That's exactly what I just said.
Well, that's why I said I'd have him just top 4 wherever you want to put him. That's fine. It just because of his wins, and he wasn't in a conference. And
Illicit, if you are listening or you've been keeping up with us, you won the giveaway. So, comment on a whatever. Hit me up on Instagram, Mark Lesko Podcast, to get your giveaway.
We could tag him. You might
get your giveaway gift. Yeah. But man, you won the giveaway. You commented the most, and your name was drawn. So, just reach out to me about that. We're going to do 1,000 subscriber giveaway too. That'll be a little bit bigger of a giveaway, but this 500 subscriber giveaway, it's going to you, Illicit. So, hit me up when you can. I was going to give it away in February, but I haven't seen Illicit, so he hasn't, and it's the off season. So, but stupid stuff. You're right. Like I just said. So, all right. Then we got, I would have to say Bear Bryant at 3.
Yeah.
I don't even know how Urban Meyer's top 4, man. Like one of my favorite coaches of all time, but good Lord. I don't think he's top 4.
I'd say he's top 5.
Yeah, top 5. I would have to put, man, it's tough between Woody Hayes and Bobby Bowden. I'd probably have to put, so it'd be Saban, Paterno, Bowden. I would have to say probably Woody Hayes at 4, and then Bobby Bowden at 5. Or I'm sorry, Urban Meyer at 5. And Tabo Sweeney's at 10. Good. And then Tom Osborne probably at 6. I mean, you got to throw Pop Warner in there. You got to throw a lot of names in there. Pop Warner, who was 4th all time on wins. Probably Pop Warner at 6. So Saban, Paterno, Bobby Bowden, Woody Hayes, Urban Meyer, Pop Warner, and then whatever after that. There's a lot of names that they left out, but I've said this to Brett. I've said this before on here. This podcast, we're a Penn State football podcast. Might be a little bit biased, but we try to just keep it a buck at all times. Joe Paterno, greatest coach to ever walk the face of the earth. You guys that, and I see it. Dan Levitard said recently that he was mad that people were outraged about them not naming the field after Joe. Basically saying that, the scandal's forgotten and it's old news, so people are just moving on from it. Dan Levitard not only is one of the biggest morons in the world, he's one of the biggest morons on TV and media. He's just terrible. Hardcore, not to get into politics, hardcore liberal guy. And his takes are horrible. Pretty much always. It's a weird show. I used to listen to it a little bit. Just a weird show. He just roasts Stugotz the whole time. It's just not a very good show. But anyway, he was mad, of course, because Dan Levitard's a moron. And then, I see comments all the time. People comment on here taking a shot at Joe Paterno. You're going to get blocked. I'm not even going to entertain that. You're not going to comment that on my podcast. It's stupid. Yep. First of all, Joe Paterno told the police, told the president, told the AD. There's nothing more the man needs to do. He did everything he could have done. I've never seen a man who told the police about a crime and then still got in trouble for it, if you will. Yeah. Got fired. I don't know what else you want him to do. What you did to you people who hate on Joe, you got your information from mainstream media. You got your information from ESPN, Fox, whatever. That's where you got your information. That's not the real information. And you're too stupid to actually actually, you're too stupid to actually do any real research. You just throw out a narrative because you're too stupid to just do so.
Yep.
If you think that Joe is at fault or did anything wrong, like, you're just wrong. His legacy will live on whether you like it or not. Us Penn State fans know. He's the only person that went to the police. Yep. McQuarrie is the one people should hate. Yeah, because McQuarrie lied, supposedly. Supposedly, I should say. He did get money and a settlement. I like Mike McQuarrie, but supposedly he wasn't truthful. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to say anything definitive. So, to those of you that still comment stuff like that, like Joe knew, and it just shows your intelligence because you have no idea what actually happened.
Yep.
So, besides that, Joe Paterno to me is second on the list, because Nick Saban just totally dominated college football for years. For the years that he was there, he just totally dominated. We've never seen anything like it. I don't know if we ever will see anything like it again. So
I'd go Saban, Bear Bryant, then I'd go Joe at 3.
Okay. Saban, Bear Bryant, Joe. Joe never beat Bear Bryant. I don't think he ever beat him. Lost the national title to him. That's another national title he could have won, so that would have been number 7. So that's the list, but it's crazy. I still see these comments, and I was diehard ESPN before that. Diehard. I watched SportsCenter every day.
Yep.
The only time I didn't watch SportsCenter growing up was after the Steelers lost their last Super Bowl, because I didn't want to watch any sports. I was too depressed.
Exactly.
So after that, I lost a lot of respect for them. I stopped watching them. And being a communications major, that's a place I could have worked if I wanted to. After some hard work, you don't just kind of walk in there, but went to a good school, good program. That's a place I could have worked. I told myself I'd never do that. I would never work for them. And now you see what ESPN is now. It's an absolute train wreck.
Terrible.
That was, for me, the start of it, and it's gotten worse since then. They have absolute clowns on ESPN. Ryan Clark, Mina Kimes, so many just clueless people. And it is what it is now. ESPN is an absolute joke. Fox, surprisingly, more popular probably, and they don't get very political at all. At the very least, they at least make sense. Fox Sports, when they say things, common sense. So, and you can kind of match up the news networks to the sports networks accordingly. But I just wanted to address that real quick, and stupid stuff. Exactly. He's the only person that went to the police. I mean, what more do you want the guy to do? I don't understand where the confusion is here. ESPN made a story, and people ran with it. It was headline news everywhere for months. And I was a freshman when that happened. It was after I did a walk-on tryout for Penn State in Haluba. And on top of that, I'm going to look up his name. This guy has done a lot of good work. John Ziegler on YouTube. It's called The Framing of Joe Paterno. Watch that. I cannot recommend that enough. Watch that. John Ziegler claims innocence on Joe. He even claims innocence on Sandusky, which I don't necessarily agree with. But at the end of the day, I've said this before, what happened was extremely serious. To be a victim of something like that is absolutely sickening. and people should be heard when reports are made like that. What I disagree with is that the blame was placed on the wrong person. Joe was merely a figurehead that they went after. And in that documentary, you'll see Mr. Lebrano of Lebrano Field for the State College Spikes. He's in the documentary. He says, I went to the gym while all this was happening. Mr. and Mrs. Sandusky walked into the gym, did a workout, walked out. No one bothered them, while Joe had hundreds of people on his lawn. All right, so check out that doc. It's good. John Ziegler has always been a fierce defender of Joe's innocence, and I like it. And it was on Menace 2 Sports, one of my favorite podcasts. Zach Smith, kind of funny because he was the coach that was fired from Ohio State for the scandal that they had, which almost cost Urban Meyer his job. He has a great podcast. So go check that out. And just get your information right.
Yep.
Don't go to guys like Dan Le Batard, who is, again, just absolute moron. Just a terrible voice. All right, Brett. I'll try to calm down. And again, these comments, man, like, it's just like, wow. You guys still say this stuff. It's insane. I mean, it just goes to show you that the truth is there, and not a lot of people know.